All right, welcome to this week's Bandzoogle office hours, everybody. Feel free to say hi if you're here watching. Let me know your name in the chat. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what type of music you play. If you don't play music, let me know what type of music you like. What are you listening to these days? Anything good? So, what we do this in these office hours every week, of course, we just hang out. The goal of it was for us here at Bandzoogle to get a little bit more connected with our members than we already are, get to know everybody a little bit, get talking through YouTube live here. We're going to have a topic every week that we go over, something specific that we're going to dive deep into. But the whole point is kind of to answer any questions that everybody here has. So don't be shy. If you have any questions along the way about music, about your Bandzoogle account, about your Bandzoogle website, about anything to do with promoting yourself as a musician, as an artist, through your website or otherwise, do not be shy to post in the chat. So I'll start. My name is Joe. I'm the Learning and Development Coordinator here at Bandzoogle. I've been working for Bandzoogle for almost 12 years. So I've worked with independent artists hopefully like yourselves, whoever's here watching, for quite a long time. So I'll do my best to answer any questions you might have, especially if it's to do with your website or promoting yourself, your music. I'll have all the answers for you that you might need. So again, if you're watching, introduce yourself in the chat. Tell me your name. Let me know where you're from. Don't be shy. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about mailing lists. And so mailing lists, every time I do a webinar like this, but we have these webinars that we do separately as well. We do once a month, which is kind of like an advanced education type thing where we dive really deep into one topic to do with marketing yourself as a musician. And we do also monthly webinars for our new members signing up for free trials to kind of walk them through how to build a website from scratch, from beginning to end, everything they need to know. So the one thing that always comes up when we're talking to members in these webinars is mailing lists. And so if you're not using your mailing list already to connect with your fans and market to your fans, it's sort of like this real untapped tool that you can start taking advantage of whenever you're ready. And so people might wonder, well, I use social media for that, right? So if I'm already using social media to reach out to my fans, is a mailing list really, really important? By the way, let me know. I'm always looking for music recommendations. So let me know what you're listening to these days. I've been kind of on this kick of going back, I guess, to my youth. I guess so. But I mean, I was born in 1985. So my youth is kind of like everything from the mid 80s up until I guess the early 2000s, you can say. But I've been kind of like on this mid 90s to early 2000s kick recently. So this is a Jimmy Eat World playing now. I haven't listened to in a long time, but I'm always looking for recommendations, any kind of music. I'm into everything. So if anybody has any recommendations for music, let me know what you're listening to these days in the chat. So yeah, question people might ask, if I'm already using social media to reach out to my fans or potential fans, why mailing lists? Aren't mailing lists maybe even a little bit outdated? People might think just because they've been around for a really long time. Just because something's been around for a really long time doesn't mean it's outdated in that sense, right? And mailing lists are still extremely, extremely effective. You wouldn't believe to what extent. Steve from San Francisco Bay Area, you do experimental music. That's awesome, Steve. That's awesome. What kind do you experiment with synths a little bit? Like what kind of experimental music do you do? Is it just you? You have a band? Do you have other guys you play with? Hopefully let me know. Everybody else, we got some other people watching here. Say hi. Let me know your name, what kind of music you play. If you don't play music, what are you into? What are you listening to these days? Again, please, always looking for recommendations. Spotify's awesome for that, especially if I always listen to my liked songs playlist on Spotify, and then every once in a while now, I don't know if this is a new thing, but I noticed recently it started throwing in recommended songs into my like songs, which I kind of have mixed feelings about because if I'm listening to my like songs, it's I want to listen to my curated playlist, but I also appreciate that it throws new things into there, But then sometimes you listen to music with other people, something else gets thrown in that they think is related. And then it's kind of like, oh, it's a little embarrassing. I didn't pick that one. It's they throw in some, whatever it might be in there. Yeah. Oh, just you and you synths. That's awesome. I just assumed, for some reason, I assumed experimental music, synths, they go so hand in hand. Right. So yeah, geez, I'm going off topic here, but that's the point of office hours, just to talk and hang out and go off topic a little bit. But if you're already using social media to market to your fans, why would you need to rely on a mailing list? So there's a couple of big reasons. One being algorithms. So if anybody's active on social media these days for any form of promotion, you know that algorithms are sometimes your friend, sometimes, but most of the time not really. So what do I mean by that? If you, let's say there's Instagram is probably the most common social media profile for people to be pushing out there and promoting to their fans and connecting with their fans through stories usually, right? But I mean, if you are using, let's say, something like Facebook or even Instagram, TikTok is fantastic for that these days too. I always say TikTok is actually the most effective discovery platform, as we call it, for musicians these days. People are discovered left and right on TikTok, and music is, of course, a major part of TikTok. Not just, of course, there's the trends, right? Everybody knows TikTok for the trends, the dancing trends, whatever it might be. And then there's usually songs that are associated with that. But then there's music trends, right? So a certain song will pick up, and then people will do videos, and whatever type of video it is, regardless, there'll be that one particular song that's as hot at the moment in the background. So it's a very music centric platform to begin with. TikTok it is for anybody who might have just popped in, but um, also just for the discovery of new artists. So whether it's live videos, whether it's like small clips of music videos, getting your music out there in all different forms, creating a TikTok account for yourself and pushing stuff out there is really effective. But you're still to the mercy of an algorithm, and especially on Facebook or Instagram, right? So let's say you have 500 followers on Instagram for your band or whatever it might be. Okay. If you post something in your main feed on Instagram, even if you have 500 followers, check your statistics after. It'll tell you the reach, the number of people it reached, and then the number of people that interacted with the post, clicked on it, or whatever it might be. And you might only reach 25, 26 people, even though you have 500 people who are actually following you. And the reason for that is how it designs the algorithm. So it's not going to push out all the content to everybody who's following you. It's going to prioritize things that it thinks those people are going to actually look at and interact with, and what's going to keep them coming back. So even though they follow you, they're not necessarily going to see everything that you're posting. But the good thing and the good news, and how Bandzoogle can help you, is that with these mailing lists, you are guaranteed that at least these emails are going to land in everybody's inbox. Okay. So they're going to have the opportunity to see what you're sending out. Whereas with Instagram or Facebook, they might not. Oh, this is such a good song. Drown by the Smashing Pumpkins. Such an underrated song. So good. So good. I know it's a noise reducing mic, so you might not hear too well, but love this track. It always like sends me back to the 90s. Yeah. So you are guaranteed that email is going to land in their inbox. Now, of course, nothing in this world is guaranteed, right? Completely beyond that. So, I mean, are they going to click on and look at it? I mean, that depends on the person, that depends on the fan, that depends on the time of day, their mood, how many other emails they have in there, how quick they are. But I will tell you that the average read rate for mass emails that we see our members send out to their fans through their mailing list, the average read rate is somewhere between 30 and 50%. Which, remember the number I told you before? If you have 500 followers on Instagram and you post something, you might have, and I see this all the time, like 25, 26, 20, maybe 30. So that works out to maybe, God, my math of foreignness. So you're working with like a 5% read rate at that point, somebody who saw it. Unless stories are a little bit more successful, but even then it's relatively similar. Unless you do a paid post. And part of the reason for that with Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, is they hope that people will pay to boost important posts. So I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you post on Instagram regularly or you post on Facebook, it'll say something like, do you want to promote this post? Do you want to kind of like push it out? And it'll give you the option to pay a couple of bucks. And then it'll like ask you, like it'll say if you add $1, if you're paying $2, $3, $4, $5, it's going to push it out to this many people. Or it'll give you like a range of how many people are possibly going to see it. So, I mean, they're money-making operations like anything else, right? But with email marketing, at least it's going directly into the inbox of your hardcore fans, and they're much more likely, statistically, from what we've seen, to click on it and open it up. And there's no other distractions with email marketing. I mean, they're not seeing a bunch of ads, they're not seeing a bunch of other posts, they're not seeing a bunch of other pictures. So it's a much more direct form of marketing. And I'm just trying to start my screen share here. There we go. It's a much more direct form of marketing, which our members do find very beneficial. It still works to this day. But look, I mean, right now in Bandzoogle, I mean, we have over 60, 70,000 independent musicians that we work with around the world. And I was managing the tech support team for a little while there, worked on the support team for a little while there, starting off with Bandzoogle. So I got to know the product inside and out, and I got to know our members inside and out. And it was a great education and kind of understanding what works for independent musicians, what works on a very realistic scale. And I'm not talking about musicians that are, with 100,000 people fan bases. I'm talking about, the average amateur independent musician. Those are the people that we work with every day. And what I see being really effective for them still is taking advantage of their mailing list and email marketing. So there's different things to keep in mind when you're using your mailing list. So you can see here, this is an example of, here, let me zoom in a little more, get this a little bigger. There you go. So this is kind of a good example of how you can use Bandzoogle to collect email addresses. Can I make this full screen? So we have something that's called a call to action feature. So this is what the call to action feature looks like. So when you add that to your website theme, when you're designing your website, right, you can choose a different theme. Not every one of the templates has a call to action feature. If it does, when you're browsing the different themes available, you'll see either like a button or text, what we call a call to action, over it on the preview. That's how you know that theme has it. So when you're browsing them, if you see this thing, text and a button, that means it has the call to action feature. The call to action feature is exactly what you think it is. It's calling people to take an action. So it's something that hovers over your header, the header being the thing that people see right away when they land on your website. Oh, old school Green Day, 90s flashbacks. So it's the first thing people see when they land on your website. And the call to action feature kind of overlays itself over the header. And you can have a custom button on there, custom text linking to anything that you want, or you can choose to have a mailing list sign up form, which is what I've been getting out of all this. So with the mailing list sign up form, what's really cool is that it prompts people right away, of course, to sign up to your mailing list. This is what it looks like. So this is kind of standard text, join our mailing list to get the latest news. So they see it right away. It's imploring them to sign up, and you can increase your odds of getting them right away on your mailing list. Okay, so that's one way of doing it, making use of that call to action feature that I just described. You can also, we do have a mailing list sign up form feature. It's just a box like that where people can enter their email and sign up, and you can enter that on, you can add that to any page of your site anywhere you want. So mix it up, put it on different pages of your site, and reminding people, hey, sign up for our mailing list. But now, incentive. Okay. What kind of incentive do you want to offer people to get them onto your mailing list? Kind of like offering them a little treat, a little reward, saying, hey, get onto our mailing list and you'll get a little something for it. By the way, I see the number of people, this is the nature with lives, it's fluctuating up and down. Anybody who's new in here, let me know your name in the chat here, where you're from, what kind of music do you play, what kind of music do you like? Give me some music recommendations. Always looking for those. So let's take a closer look here at incentives. All right. Now, same website. Marius here. So another thing that he did to try and encourage people to join his mailing list was he offered a free download in exchange for an email. So you can do that through any of our track list feature, our album feature, any of our music features that lets you upload music for streaming and or sale or download. You can turn on an option which allows you to offer it basically for free, but in exchange for an email. So in exchange for them signing up to your mailing list, that's what you're offering it for, which is such a useful tool, because people, if they see that on your website and they're just like, oh my God, okay, so I can download a free version of this track, download a free version of their album, you can get creative with whatever you're offering, whatever you think is going to be appealing to your fans, you can offer as a free download in exchange for an email, and then you get them on your mailing list. So offer an incentive. Okay, super simple to do through our music features. Then you get them on there. Then we have like the basic email builder. So this is, if anybody's ever used something like MailChimp or any of those sort of like mass email marketing platforms like that, or Aweber was another one that was around. This is the one that's built in with every Bandzoogle account and free to use, is an extremely easy to use and a basic version of any kind of mass emailer that you've ever used. It's very, very effective. There's no experience necessary. You can pop in. So you have your email list of however many people, 10, 20, 50, 100, 500, 1,000, whatever it might be. So you have all those people on your list. You can target everybody on your email list. You can target just groups of people in a specific location. Let's say you're going on a little tour and you're playing some shows in different towns or cities around where you live. You can target people who are just in those locations to let them know about the upcoming gig. It's really easy to upload images into the email, type in your text, select the people that you want to send it to, and boom, it sends it all out to them at once. Pretty standard, easy stuff, right? And it's all built in right there in your mailing list tab. Extremely, extremely effective. So what do people kind of market through email? What are the different things? So of course, upcoming gigs is a big one. If you are going to be playing shows, even if you just play within the same city, if you're not the type to do like little tours or move around and play different locations, marketing within your cities is probably even more effective because you'll have those hardcore fans that see you play the gigs in local clubs and that they want to come out and see you every time you play. They sign up to your mailing list. So when you do send out that email blast, make sure it goes right to them. They see it. It's like, oh, okay, they're going to be playing this club next Friday. I'm going to go. Boom. You can include a link in the email too to a page on your site to buy tickets or with information on where to buy tickets. And you have a conversion right there. You've let them know about the show. They want to come. They buy a ticket. And you can sell tickets directly through our calendar feature, by the way, if anybody didn't know that. So the calendar feature allows you to create a new event, any kind of event that you want, most likely a gig. It's probably the most common one that people use it for. And you can sell e-tickets and directly through your calendar, which is super useful. So direct them back from the email. You can, just paste in a link to the page or the specific event where they can buy the tickets. And then boom, you have a conversion. You marketed to your fan base, told them about your show, made it easy for them to go and buy a ticket, and they did it. And now they're coming out to your show. You can use it for marketing upcoming album releases, track releases. But one of the big, big, big things that I find this really useful for is advertising new merch store items. This is so effective. So we did one of the office hour lives that we did 2 weeks ago was selling merch on your website and digging into that a little bit. And so when you're selling merch on your site, there's two different options. You can sell things that you already own, that you already have inventory of, that you have ready to ship out to people. So you can do that. Or you can use what's called a merch fulfillment service. And I actually just released a video on this channel a couple of days ago about what are merch fulfillment services and why you should be using them. So if that's something that's kind of appealing to you, you can go check that out. You'll see my face on there, and some useful information on why merch fulfillment services are actually really big game changers for independent musicians. But what merch fulfillment services are, they're basically, you don't need to pay anything up front to sell any kind of customized merchandise through your website. They fulfill everything. So you design the products, you post them on your Bandzoogle website. It's really easy, really quick to do. Can be everything from home decor items like candles or pillowcases to all different kinds of clothing, hoodies, jackets, track pants. Like they have everything you could possibly imagine on there. Of course, t-shirts, hoodies, all different kinds of basic clothing as well. And you can sell them on your website. You can be updating that with new items all the time. And when somebody buys something, they take care of everything. They fulfill it. That's why it's called a fulfillment service. So they make it, they ship it, they take care of everything. And you get your cut from the sale, and you know how much that is up front. So when you're deciding how much you're selling something for on your website that you design through them, it tells you, if you sell this product for $25, your cut will be $7.50, your cut will be $9, whatever it is, right? And then that money is deposited to your PayPal or your Stripe account, whatever it is. So it's a really effective way to sort of be able to get creative with the merch that you sell on your website. But the cool part of that, such a good song, "Don't Let Me Down" by the Beatles, classic, right? One of the most underrated songs, I think. So one of the ways that you can use your mailing list is every once in a while, what you can do, because it's so easy to go in and create new products with this merch fulfillment service, and we're connected with one called Printful, so it's super easy to design a new product and import it into your Bandzoogle store. You can use your mailing list to promote it. So you can send a mass email out to everybody on your mailing list and be like, hey, everyone, we just launched this really awesome new t-shirt. Check it out. For a limited amount of time, it's going to be 10% off. Use this promo code to go in and buy the t-shirt right now. Link to the page your site where the t-shirt's available for sale, and boom, you send it out to 50 people. Maybe you get 5-10 sales, maybe you get 2 sales, maybe you get 1 sale. That's 1 or 2 sales that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise if you hadn't sent that email out, right? So it's still an extremely effective way to market. We as a company still use email marketing all the time. We canvass our members all the time to let everybody, we send out weekly newsletters. Anytime we have major updates, we email everybody to let them know. It's still extremely effective for marketing to your fan base. So just a little bit of an extra here. Things that are offered directly through Bandzoogle, if you're curious about giving the mailing list a try, different layouts for your emails, suggested layouts. You can use those. So it makes it really easy to build it. You can schedule emails for a future date if you want to. You get really awesome reporting, letting you know like how many people viewed the emails, how many people clicked on it, how many conversions you got through there. So if there was a button embedded or you had a link, a hyperlink in there, linking to a page you wanted them to check out, how many people went in and clicked on that page. Easy importing, exporting of contacts. So if you have email lists from other services, you can bring that in as well. Precision location targeting, so you can target people and send emails to people just in specific locations. And fan incentives, like I mentioned before, the fan incentives were offering a free download, let's say, in exchange for somebody signing up to your mailing list. So these are all really cool tools that are offered for free with every Bandzoogle account. So make use of it. Make use of it. One of the things that we wanted to do here with these office hours, one was, connect with our fans. Hopefully you guys are fans of the platform. Connect with people who are members or, possible members who are thinking about or just been following Bandzoogle because you like our content, the blog posts or the videos that we put out. But sort of letting you know that we're much more than just a website builder. And to that point, Howie, I really hope you can consider offering funnels soon. Howie, amazing point. And I will let you know, we already offer some funneling tools in the form of what are called landing pages. Great point, Howie. So what landing pages are is a way to sort of create a marketing funnel to promote something. A landing page is, let me know, just give me a second here. I'll stop the screen share and I'll show you in a sec. Let me bring up, so a landing page is basically a page of your site that you can create that doesn't have a menu. It doesn't have anything else aside from something that you want people to do. So it has a call to action on it. Okay. Here we go. Let me just share the screen here. Okay, so this is from our blog. And again, our blog is free, of course, for everybody to access, bandzoogle.com. Just click on the blog. We update it weekly with amazing tips for musicians, things to keep in mind for marketing yourself, for growing your music career. So what a landing page is it looks something like this. I know this picture is a little bit small, but actually if you go after this, if you go into our YouTube and you search Bandzoogle landing pages, we have a video on that. And if you just go into Google and put Bandzoogle landing pages, we have a lot of resources on that, help articles, and this particular article that you'll see here. So a landing page, like I said before, is just, there's no main menu. There's nothing else aside from one call to action that you add to that page. So it's like a funnel. So it's like if you want people to buy tickets to your show, what you would do, you could create a landing page just with a calendar feature with just that one date, that event, tickets for sale with a button, buy tickets. And then you can post and promote it on social media. You can post it on Facebook, Instagram, wherever it might be. Hey, we're playing a gig in a couple of weeks. Come check it out. You can link back to that landing page. They land on the landing page and it funnels them directly to create to that action. There's no other distractions. It's just a page with buy tickets. And that's all there is. So that's what we call a landing page. So you'll see here, in this particular case, this is one of our members, Olivia Kay and the Parkers, and she was promoting a new album. So what she did was she ran a sponsored post on Instagram. So again, I talked about this at the beginning of the live here, but you can do any kind of like the downside with social media is that when you post something, it's not going to reach all your followers. So what's common, and because they want you to do these sponsored posts, and you'll always see like at the top there under her name, Olivia Kay and the Parkers, under the account name, it says sponsored, right? So it tells people when it's a sponsored post that they paid for, again, to try and encourage other people. It's like a marketing tool for them. So she ran a sponsored post releasing the new, promoting the new album, and put an embedded link saying, hey, click here to buy my new album. and it linked back to a landing page that she created with just the album for sale. So there's nothing else on that page. There's no main menu, no other content, no distractions. And so just to focus the attention to streaming the album, she has a streaming and a button for sale. But if you want it to be even less distracting, you can just have the button buy my album, right? So that's how you could use landing pages. And this is kind of like that funnel that you were talking about there, Howie. So the first step of the kind of digital marketing funnel, here, let me zoom in a little bit more here. There you go. So the first step of the digital marketing funnel is campaign channels. So campaign channels is wherever you're going to be promoting something. Instagram, Facebook, wherever it might be, on X, wherever you feel like you reach your fans the most. That's your campaign channel. So like in the example I just showed, Olivia Kay and the Parkers, they posted on Instagram. They did a sponsored post. We're releasing a new album. So then from the campaign channel, it goes to the landing page that you create on Bandzoogle, funnels them in. You see this is the funnel, right? So then the landing page, buy now. The trigger is the button, the buy now button. The conversion is them going through with the checkout, entering their card information, and then delivery would, in that case, would be them getting sent the digital download of the album by email that they purchased. So that's kind of the digital marketing funnel right there. So you can definitely do that through Bandzoogle. How, if you're curious about that, I mentioned we do have those resources. So you can just Google Bandzoogle landing pages and you can find out a bunch of really cool stuff through there. But one of the most valuable, I think, features that we offer is our support team. So it's no wait times in support. You can pop into live chat when it's open and you can talk with a member of our team directly. They're all musicians. They're all musicians who are extremely familiar with digital marketing and everything to do with the Bandzoogle platform from A to Z. So they're there to help. Again, no wait times, pop into live chat and you can just tell somebody, hey, look, I'm really curious to learn about landing pages. I'm really curious about how I can market, how I can create a really cool funnel to get people buying a new product in my store, my music, whatever it might be. And they'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction and give you some advice. They're not a standard customer service. They're not a standard tech support team. They're really there, musicians to help musicians, and they're there to talk to you. So don't be shy to pop in with them and have a conversation. All right. Howie, it's good to see you. I think you popped in last week too, right, Howie, if I'm not mistaken? Good to see you again. For anybody else in here, let me know your name in the chat here. Let me know where you're from, what kind of music you play, what kind of music you like. What are you listening to these days? Again, please, I'm not ashamed to beg for music recommendations. I love discovering new music. Hey, Howie, you know what? I appreciate you saying that. I fully, not just because I was like very hands-on with the support team myself, managing them for a while there, and working on the support team as a young buck when I first started off with the company part-time. So I was very hands-on in sort of like sculpting the philosophy of the team there. But I'm happy to hear you say that. We try to differentiate ourselves in that way of being a sort of very human company, and the fact that I know it's no face-to-face or phone support in that sense, but live chat is so much more effective because you're talking. There's zero wait times, so you can just pop open a chat bubble, and there's no a lot of times now with chat support you get a bot who like sort of filters through and different people and tries to like, hey, maybe I can get rid of you by sending you a link to a help article. We don't do that. You go straight to a real person, which is pretty awesome. We've come to the end of our time for today. These office hours are always the favorite part of my week. I got to be honest with it. If everybody here, if you enjoyed it, put in the comments that you like these. If you want to see more of them, we can definitely do more of them. We can even start, if you want to request certain topics to talk about, you can post requests in the chat and we can get to those at a future time. But I'm looking forward. I love hanging out with all of you once a week like this. I'd like to do them a little bit more often. So if more people start coming out or we hear from people that they like it, we'll start doing them more. And hey, God, Allison, my pleasure. My pleasure, Allison. Thanks for coming out and listening. Your website has funnels, but connecting with them is miserable. Oh, I get that, Howie. It's tough. It's not, especially for somebody who doesn't necessarily have like a full-on marketing background. It can be a little bit intimidating, or even just wrapping your brain around how to properly structure it to sort of maximize the traffic that you're getting can be a little intimidating. But please do not hesitate to reach out to the support team. They're there to help. Okay. It was my pleasure. My pleasure. Censor music. I want to hear some of your experimental stuff. Post a link. If you can, post a link in the comments to say, if you're willing, to something, if you have it streaming on your site or something something I'd love to listen. I love to check. I love experimental stuff, especially synth music. Like synthwave is one of my favorite musical genres. I listen to it all the time. So let me know. Post a link to it if you can. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. Please keep an eye on. We'll be doing these every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Again, if you'd like to see more, post a comment down below, or even some specific topics that you'd like me to cover in the future. Post there. I have shingles from all the stress. Oh, I'm so sorry, Howie. But please reach out. They'll be happy to help. Okay. Take care, everybody. Enjoy yourselves, and hopefully enjoy your Bandzoogle websites. And don't stop making music, the thing that we love. Oh, right before we leave, got one last comment that came in before I take off. Vincent Tardy. My name's Vincent. My music is a mix of French song and chamber music. That sounds amazing. Chamber music with jazz accents. You live in Quebec, Canada. Vincent, I guess it's Vincent. I'm sorry. Je suis à Montréal. Je suis à Montréal maintenant. J'étais à Toronto pour 2 ans, à peu près 2 ans, 3 ans. J'étais à Ontario pour la majorité de ma vie, mais maintenant je suis à Montréal. Alors, bienvenue, Vincent. Yes, so please post in the comments if you'd like to see more of it. And take care, everybody. Talk to you soon.